Hey, what's happening, Tim, with Nomad Trading? Okay, happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Gonna look at all the hottest stocks of the day as usual for the daily runner recap. The first one I'm gonna start with, I always start with my own trades. So today I'm gonna start off with my arch nemesis, BNGO. This thing just frustrated me all day. As soon as I think I get the better of it, then it comes back and gets me. So let me look at my trades over here. Just 1 second. Wait for a couple more people to join in. Make sure you hit the like button if you like what you see, and type in the chat, roll call, whatnot. Tell me about your trades, things that you guys are watching. Right now I'm watching BNGO, moving like crazy at the moment after hours. So yeah, BNGO was my arch nemesis today. Let me pull over my thing. I like to start with my own trades. So yeah, there's my P&L for CMEG. I've got to move all these windows around over here on my other screen. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, end of the day up 70 bucks on BNGO. It's the only thing that I traded today was this one ticker. It's the only thing that really I was watching very closely or that interested me. I kind of watched HOTH a little bit. We'll talk about that and a few others. But BNGO with the big volume again today, moving again today. So that was the one I was really watching closely. And I was just back and forth with it all day. On the right side a couple times and on the wrong side several times. Also, I just couldn't get it figured out for whatever reason. Sometimes it seems like there's those stocks that are just frustrating. And this was one of those ones. Just a few minutes ago, I was just, mad as HE double hockey sticks. I'll try not to curse so I can make this kid friendly. With YouTube, you have to designate if it's kid friendly or not and all that. So advertiser friendly, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so basically I can't cuss. Anyway, super mad about it a few minutes ago, but I calmed down so I could do this live stream. Ended up 70 bucks ahead, but with CMEG's awesome commissions, I think I had like 35 or 40 bucks in commissions or something like that. And I took a loss, a $50 loss on it in the E-Trade account. So if you add all that up, I don't know what the commissions are going to be because I have a promo code that's added in after the fact. So as of now, the fees in CMEG were 45, and this was a $50 loss in the E-Trade account, which would put me down 95, and then up 70. So down 25 overall between both accounts, and then I should get some back on the promo code in CMEG, which will put me probably down like 20 bucks on the day. So it's not like it matters. Not a big down day or whatever. It's just I was extremely frustrated. That thing was just giving me fits all day. I'll talk about it here in just 1 second. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Oh, got an email from E-Trade about phasing out of the scanner. I did too. I'm going to make a video about that. Why is BNGO running? That's a great question. And other than the fact that it's got a bunch of volume, all they really did was get announced yesterday that they got an extension to try to regain their NASDAQ compliance, because they had fallen out of NASDAQ compliance because this thing was down under $1 just a couple of days ago. So they were, if you look at the daily chart down here, it was trading in the 50-cent area for quite a while, so in danger of becoming delisted from NASDAQ. And then they got an extension to try to regain that, and here we are up in the mid threes from a stock that was in around 50 cents a few days ago. it's pretty much crazy, which is why, I've been thinking short on it since yesterday, and I did make some money short on it yesterday and again today, but then here it is going like crazy and stopped me out. So yeah, why is it up this much? I don't know. It's just one of those stocks that got a lot of volume, got a lot of eyes on it. So trap some shorts, running up. Yeah, it's beyond what I would say reason at this point, but that doesn't mean anything with the stock market. It could go to $5 or $6. I mean, who knows? Might stop right here and go back down to 2 in the next few days. Just one of those crazy stocks that gets up beyond rhyme or reason. But anyway, so as far as my trades go, as you can see, this was following an overall trend line. This is a 5-minute chart, 3-day time frame. And I've got this trend line where every time it hits this trend line, it bounces up. So it was holding that trend line other than this little area right here, which was after hours yesterday. So low volume after hours, it did go below there. But then today, it gaps up back above that trend line and then holds it all day again today. So that's kind of the main line I was watching. And then I was watching this $3 range because it had topped out there yesterday, and then it was struggling with it all day today. So at one point early on, if we zoom in here, this is 1 minute time frame for one day. I went short on it at $3 right out of the gate, thinking that it would hit this resistance from yesterday, which happens a lot, and bounce off of that. So I tried scalping it short off of that resistance. Of course, it broke through that and stopped me out. So I was down $50 right off the bat. And then it came back down all the way down here below VWAP, below the 50 moving average, below the 200. Bounced off this consolidation range back up here. So I took another short position, scalped it back down here, was up 117, I think, on the day at that point. So I made back what I lost, plus was ahead 117. Then I just kind of watched it. Then it starts shooting up, and it's testing that $3 range again. So at that point, I'm thinking, okay, this is it's holding up pretty well. It's got huge volume. It's still holding up here, tapping on that 3 again. So it looked like it was going to break. So I take a long position. I switched my thinking to long bias, took a long position in my E-Trade account, and of course it dips almost immediately after I bought it. It did not break 3 and bounces down, so I stop at on that. So I'm down $50 in the E-Trade account, still up 117 in the CMEG account at that point. So then it hits it again another time here. It kind of bounced, came back up. So I shorted it again, thinking, okay, now we've hit the 3 range and it just can't break that. So I shorted again at 3, scalp it again. At that point, I covered down in here, was up 160 on the day. Feeling pretty good about that. So then it goes up here, and I'm seeing it, it did break $3, but it gets real choppy in this area here. And I'm watching the $3 range, and then I'm watching this other right around 314. Look like it could be resistance on the 5-minute chart if I zoom in just a hair. So I was watching that level, and that's kind of where it topped out. So I ended up taking a short position there, and my plan was to hold it. I thought that it would bounce off of that getting late in the day, and then it would end up fading all the way back down here because there's no real reason it's up this much. So my thinking was I'm going to go ahead and short late day into that resistance, and it's going to sell off into close kind of like it did yesterday right here. So that was my thinking, and of course it curls back up, stops me out up here for another loss, and then I end up $70 on the CMEG and down 50 in the E-Trade. And at that point I stopped trading it because I was just too mad. So now I'm glad that I stopped out, because now it's up here pushing high of day. It looks like it kind of double topped at the high of day after hours, but I'm glad I stopped out on it, because otherwise I'd be sitting on a decent sized loss for the day. Not a big loss, but because I trade small. But yeah, it would have taken my green day before commissions and turned it into a decent red day. So anyway, that's my story for the day, just being frustrated by BNGO. I'm not going to go long even if it breaks this just because it's after hours. I rarely trade after hours. I like to be out of my positions at the close of the day. So I don't want to hold it overnight. And at this point, it's up so much that, I mean, on the daily over here, we've got gap up and then another gap up, and it's beyond all reason. So I also don't want to chase it and be the guy that's stuck up here when it comes back down. And I don't want to short it when it keeps going to $4. So that's the name of the game today for me, was BNGO just kind of whipping me around back and forth. I just I don't know. Can't say that it really got me good because I did end up green on it, I guess, before commissions. But yeah, frustrating, very frustrating day. Anyway, supposedly Mark was trying to get in touch with CEO about BNGO. Why didn't you wait for the break of 3 to enter that long position? Just for my own understanding, because it was hitting 294 and the open of today was 293. So that would have been a red to green move. And I was just trying to get in it a little bit early rather than waiting until, because it was having trouble with 3. So I didn't want to, enter it at the very top when I've seen it have trouble multiple times with 3. I didn't want to enter at the very top and then have it go down, which ended up happening anyway. So I was trying to just get a little bit of a jump on it. So when it was making its red to green move, the open was at 293. So it was red below that. So when it was getting to 293, 294, it was kind of hitting a lot of resistance, but I thought it was going to break through. And so I just went ahead and went long just under 3, expecting it to break 3, which it didn't. It did, but not whenever I wanted it to. So that's why. Just trying to get ahead of it instead of waiting on it. If it would have been the first time, if this would have been like the first time that it was about to hit 3, then I would have, like, say that this broke up, if this was all, during the same day and we stayed above VWAP and came up and we're hitting 3 for the first time again, then I would have probably tried to buy the break, and I think it would have had a lot more likelihood of popping up there. But because it had been knocked down by 3 so many times, my thinking was I thought it would break 3, but at the same time I was a little bit nervous about it because it kept getting stopped out there. So yeah, I was just trying to get ahead of it a little bit by playing the red to green move just under the 3 resistance. Didn't work out either way. But yeah, that's why. Look at it still going. Now it's testing that high of day again. Previous high of day. I'm sure it's probably going to go because at this point, I would think it would have enough shorts trapped, especially with it after hours and the spread gets a little bigger. And I don't know though, it's on 350. We got pretty good size asks over here at 350, 190K, 28K. So now we got over 200K on the ask, 200,000 shares on the ask at 350. So it's going to have to get some pretty good volume for after hours here. Not that it couldn't do it because we have traded 441 million shares today. But I don't know. It's looking like it could end up being a problem for it. If it was during normal trading hours, I might consider shorting it at that level, but we'll see what happens. Is the size going to come back up? Nope. Now the size looks like it might have fallen off. No, there it is. Now they're back. 220-some thousand shares. So this is where level 2 comes in handy. So there you saw it. That's where, as a scalper, if I was going to go long on that break, I'm watching level 2 just for you guys, to see what my mindset is, right or wrong anyway. Where level 2 is very important is because of that, where it was hitting 350 and it had that huge size and you could watch it start eating it away. And as it starts eating it away and you see the flashes of green coming through over here, that's where my finger would be on the buy button, and I would be hitting that as the high of day breaks. I'd be hitting that as it's chewing through that 350, looking for a pop. But this is how it's been all day with this stock, and why I've been thinking short is because every time I think it's going to pop up, it's like it's too crowded and it ends up not really popping. I mean, you get a few cents out of it, but not a huge move like you would expect at that 350 when you got 200 and some thousand shares on the ask. All of a sudden they're covering. You would think you'd get a nice pop, but it's so crowded that instead it just barely moves. Anyway, that's kind of why I was thinking short all day. And then, yeah, that's all I got on that. We can move on to something else. Anyway, that's the most exciting at the moment. But I wanted to look at, let's see, HOTH was another one I was watching. This is the one I wish I had shorted into this VWAP move, because it had pulled back so hard from the high of day, bounced off the 50, and I was looking to scalp it off of that back to the 50, which would have worked fairly well. But unfortunately, I was flipping between this and BNGO and was focused on BNGO, and this would have been the one that probably would have worked out a little better than me chasing my tail on BNGO. But anyway, now it's just kind of fading, maybe trying to get a curl, but I doubt it. My thinking on this too, it did have decent news about cancer treatment. You get that in the headlines. Sometimes it matters a lot. So I was also watching to see if maybe it could curl back up, but it did not. BT was another one. This is a previous days. This has been running for several days now. I think if we zoom out, yeah, so this was down in the, let's zoom just a little farther. Yeah, so we were down here in the mid 6s a few days ago. Now it's up here at 2150. So several days of really running, and it came back up, tested that high right here, and then broke out, and it's not really looked back. Decent pullback here, I guess, but yeah, the thing is going crazy. I traded it, I think, the first or second day, but I didn't trade it today. But definitely worth looking at, just because of it's still a pretty good move from the 1450 bounce off of the 200 moving average to hitting, did it hit 24? Yeah, over 24. So that's a $10 a share move right there. That would be a hard play to make, because I wouldn't, if it was downtrending like that, I probably wouldn't be buying that. Let's zoom out one day. So yeah, I wouldn't have been buying that. I might have been buying it here, breaking out past the previous high of day, and scalping it into this little move here. Or you could have done the same thing there. Or we can look and see, it is kind of forming my favorite pattern a little bit. If we go from here to here, and then we form somewhat of pennant as the consolidation gets tighter and tighter, and then it moves up again. So if I had been watching that, I might have taken that long right there, but I wasn't. I didn't even know this was up this much on the day for whatever reason. Didn't see it on the screeners until very late in the day, well past this move. The downside of no scanner. Look over in the chat for a second here. Oh, should have long swinged at 110, 296, 5,000 shares. Yeah, that would have been nice. I'm not patient enough to swing. I'd like to add that at some point to my game, but every single time I try to swing trade, I end up, not every time, but most times when I try to swing trade, I end up down and then sitting there like, I don't know, I don't have the patience. I end up cutting it and taking the loss on it, or cutting it too quick in the move and taking very, very small profits. I'm just much too nervous. Holding overnight and holding for several days makes me so nervous. So yeah, I suck at swing trading. I wish I was better at it. Maybe someday I'll be better at it. I'm trying to master scalping at this point, so days like today that are frustrating, I don't feel like I'm anywhere near even mastering that. So until I get that down, I doubt I'll do too much swing trading. What else? AINC was another one that was hitting the scanners a lot, but this one would be very difficult to trade, in my opinion, because it's so choppy. I mean, huge swings. It was at $6 yesterday before the after hours move, but then it comes all the way, it goes all the way to 11.25ish, comes all the way back down to 7.50 or so, back up to 11.20, back down to under, well, I guess right around 8.50. The swings are just crazy in this, so not really anything that I would have traded personally. But I did want to bring it up because it was moving and hitting the scanners a lot. AC was another one. This was the one, ACY, from, what was it, a couple days ago. This thing was really moving. Yeah, went from around less than $3 to way up here. Let me switch to this. So $38. So $3 to $38 was this insane move that we talked about the other day, and then it gets halted while it's pending news and the news is, oh, there is no news, so it comes all the way back down. But it's a low float stock, and of course, when you've got this previous move, people know that. So if it starts going, you can get a pretty decent move out of it on another day. So that's what we had today, because it was down here in the sixes and went all the way to, what's the high of that? Over $15. So yeah, monster move there. But again, not a ton of opportunity to take the trade because it was a little a little bit more thinly traded. And as it kind of came up here, I'd be a little scared of how much it gave back and the fact that it's been halted before, all that stuff. So not the best stock to trade, especially to the long side. Not very many setups that I like anyway. Let's see. BNGO we talked about. BNSO. This was another one. It's kind of forming a giant bull pennant if you look at this huge consolidation. And this is another one that yesterday was in the fours, went all the way to a high of 1044. So up well over 100% at one point today, but now is back down, kind of consolidating at about the halfway point or so. You'll see that a lot with stocks. I call it the 50% rule. A lot of times you'll see stocks have a big move and they'll consolidate about 50% of what the giant move was. So that's just not something you can really trade off of because it's not an exact science or anything, but it is just something that's interesting to know. A lot of times you'll see a big move and then somewhere around the middle of the move is where it'll actually consolidate before it moves again. Happens a lot. Oh, not very many people in the trading world this afternoon. I think people are starting their drinking early. I'm going to keep this fairly short because I gotta hit a little bit of that Crown and Pepsi or Crown and Coke here before too long. Celebrate the new year. Celebrate 2020 being over. Solo, okay. Solo, okay, yeah, solo. So it's kind of forming a little bit of a bull pennant, but it's come down a lot more than I would like. This high is too high. Like I would rather the consolidation be up here. But the good thing about it would be that it consolidating, kind of bouncing off of that $6 level, this previous high right here. This is where technical analysis comes into play. I know you guys probably know this, but I'm just saying the previous highs become support. If you're looking for areas to bounce or areas that could become support, things like that, you can look at previous highs like this. It's no coincidence that this is the high right here of this little move. That's kind of a big move actually because it was down here in the $1 range to $6. So pretty good sized move. And that's where it capped out, and then that's where we find support several times. So it could end up bouncing off that level. We've got kind of a triple bottom going at that $6 support area. So you could look at that. Yeah, that's the daily. kind of small. I can make it bigger. We can pull it up here a little bit. So I like to zoom out farther just to see what else there is. So yeah, if we zoom out, this is 3 years. Then we're forming a little bit of a cup here, kind of a curling up. So yeah, if it can hold this $6 range, I like it a little better. So it could be a possible swing. I'm not a very good swing trader, like I said, but if I was going to be a swing trader, yeah, you could possibly take a trade around this $6 area and just kind of risk off of that. If it starts breaking below that and breaking below this 50 moving average, then I would just stop out and be done with it. But could it curl off that level? Yeah, it looks like it could. And then you're going to watch like the 650 level, the 680 level. So you do have some different spots that you got to watch. 750, but yeah, it could be one that ends up moving up. You could make a case for a swing trade at this level. Thanks for stopping by, Trader Paul. And we only got 3 viewers. Everybody is out drinking today. I'm going to just cut this off short because I don't think many people are going to watch it or be chatting or anything today anyway. It's 3:43 on New Year's Eve. I'm sure people are out getting their beer and alcohol and party stuff and getting their parties ready, even though the virus is out there and all that. But I'm still betting that people are going to be partying, even if it's by themselves on Zoom calls, having a beer. So yeah, not going to talk. I pretty much covered all the ones that I saw that were really moving today. And I covered my frustration with BNGO. Where are we at on that right now? Let's check that out. Just out of curiosity. So yeah, shorten that up there at the 350 would have been a good plan so far. Time will tell if it ends up forming any kind of a handle or curling up, but it's looking like that would have been a decent play. Again though, after hours, not really looking to be shorting and stuff after hours, especially on New Year's Eve. Holding over a long weekend, definitely not. Not for me. Anyway, that's about all I got. I guess we'll get off of here. Everybody have a happy, safe New Year's Eve. Take care. Have fun. That's very important. Take some time away from the markets. Have fun. And I'll see you next week, and we'll work on doing the same thing. Hopefully more strings of green days. I've been pretty happy with the fact that I've been green today with commissions. Technically a red day, but trading wise still a green day, which puts me on a pretty good string of green days. Frustrated that I didn't just stop when I was up 160 earlier and just call it a day. Ended up giving more back, but I am happy about the fact that it's been a pretty good string of green days. I don't know how many days out of the last couple weeks, but I'm pretty sure most of the days have been green days the last couple of weeks, and that's good. Consistency is what I'm going for. That's my whole goal, is to be consistent on a small level, and then I'll start to scale up once I feel more confident that I can be consistent. So that's my spot. That's my goal. My goal for 2021 is to be profitable. I'm going to finish this year. I'll have to look at my accounts, but I'm going to finish the year break even or down a little bit. So kind of disappointing considering I was up at one point, but it is what it is. And 2021 definitely better than any of my previous years. 2021 hopefully will be a big profitable year, and I can make some big progress. Hopefully you guys can too. So anyway, Happy New Year. Getting off here. Y'all have a good day. Happy New Year. Be safe. All that wonderful stuff. See you next week.